So, in the midst of all this tremendous turmoil between Pluto and Uranus comes Obama. And Obama comes to us when Neptune is entering Pisces. Neptune enters Pisces every 186 years, which is very slow. It's its home place. It's the best place Neptune can be, the spiritual planet in the spiritual sign of Pisces, right around the exact time that Teddy Kennedy died. He dropped the baton, passed the baton on health care to Obama, who passed it. And what happened at the same time? Chiron came into Pisces with it. Chiron was discovered in November of 77. Chiron, the healing planet. How many people in this world tuned into being healers since 77? A month later, I became an astrologer, 78. So it was November 4th of 1977. So Chiron's vibes we became ready to absorb them. That's what you say in astrology. We weren't ready for Pluto till 1930. When Pluto was discovered, so was Hitler.
Resurrection, the movie, came out in 77 about the woman who healed herself after she had an accident where she was paralyzed, and then she could heal others. So that was like my influence. So when you say that Chiron was
very significant, very.
Absolutely.
Very significant. So, Chiron in astrological terms does not exist until 77. When I go back now and look at Da Vinci's chart, Da Vinci was Mr. Chiron, which is why he was so phenomenal. Highest IQ ever known. Over 210. But it wasn't because he was a Taurus, it was because of his Chiron placement. But anyhow, we were not consciously aware of Chiron till 77. When Obama came in, both planets came into Pisces together. They're now flirting around with each other, moving back and forth. And now, 5 other planets are coming in with them. There's 5 in there now. This week, on March 11th, there's going to be the sun plus the moon. So that's what my newest newsletter is about. Now, if you don't feel what's going on, then you got to be having a lot of cotton in your ears. You should be feeling kind of spacey. Your intuition is growing like crazy. Coincidences are growing like crazy. This feeling of oneness, this feeling of we can't keep living this way anymore. Oh, it's a coincidence that the Pope has stepped down. Right? No, it's not a coincidence. God is stripping us naked, if I can use that word, and just to see how spiritual are we really. And if you are, you're not having a tough time with this. This is the greatest time in the world for India. I mean, people that spend their life in meditation and following their guru, a big Neptune Pisces transit is the world to them. If you're worldly, it ain't working. Smoke and mirrors aren't working anymore. It's now time that the Mayan calendar has ended. It's now time. And all these wackos that have been talking to us the last 6 years, you've seen it. It's a new age. It's the new switch, what do they call it? It's the new shift. They were all right. It is the new age. And it's wonderful. So just as bad as things are getting with that Pluto-Uranus, and it's going to get worse, the Neptune is causing all the wonderful stuff. And what the Neptune is doing is exactly what I wrote about years before I saw it, is it's making people turn into light workers. Advanced light workers like you two are going to be required to go higher. You're not going to be able to keep your engineering job because you're going to be called up to do more and more spiritually because you're so powerful. People are coming into my office dropping their jobs as fast as they can. They're not even being cautious anymore like they were 2 years ago. They're just saying, I'm not following my bliss. I'm not getting there. Forget it. I'm following my bliss. That's what they're doing. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am?
Something interesting is Barbara Marx Hubbard, without mentioning any astrology or anything, is saying the same thing. You know, that in a different...
We're all saying the same thing because there's one archetype under us. I'm listening to you as a human, but I'm listening deeper because I can hear what archetypes are coming up through your translator. So therefore, what happens in my office is I'm listening to see, are you in touch with your archetypes? Are you pushing them down? And that's the worst thing you can do, is push your archetypes down. Okay? When anything goes wrong with you, look back that day, look back the day before, and you will see where you have shoved something down. You've been offered a position, but you shoved it down because you didn't want to make him unhappy. You wanted to tell that SOB off, and you shoved it down. Well, let me tell you, the planets don't like that. They don't like that. Yes, sir.
So, archetypes, I hear whispering of people whispering. So, you mentioned archetypes as a person who knows astrology, but what if you don't know archetypes? I mean, you're basically
There are many ways. You can read what's her face's book.
I don't want to read anybody's book.
Well, I mean, it's a good book that tells you how to sense your archetypes. What's her name? Carolyn Mace.
Oh, man.
Carolyn Mace has a great book on how many ways, through tarot cards, through being a musician.
Okay. So you're basically saying
It's all the same.
intuitive.
Yeah, intuitive, exactly. It's all the same thing.
You can refer them to the handout, the first page also, where Richard Tarnas, who wrote Cosmos and Psyche, defines an archetype in the second paragraph, which is a beautiful description. He's a wonderful writer. And then further on in the handout, there's a quotation or some material quoted from Stanislav Grof, where he does a nice job of condensing what an archetype is according to Carl Jung, who is also an astrologer, by the way, and worked closely with horoscopes and people's charts. But basically, an archetype is an energy archetypes are energy patterns that exist in the universe. And from an astrological standpoint, when you are born, there's a certain archetypal imprint that exists everywhere in the universe at that time. But it certainly is imprinted on you at the moment of your birth. And that's what when Rick is talking about looking at the archetypes in your chart, that's what he's talking about interpreting. And those are the energies the themes of those energies that flow with you through your life that are triggered in certain ways by the planets as they continue to go around the transit.